And we are back. The Premier League is back after a 2-week hiatus for the international break. An international break that has been full of drama. I'd say the most notable ones being North Macedonia's win over Italy in the World Cup playoffs. It's just a shame for them. They then had to play Portugal in their playoff final. Gareth Bale's unbelievable performance for Wales to get them into their playoff final. And of course, Lasergate down in Africa, where Egypt and Senegal faced off in yet another penalty shootout in a final, where Mohamed Salah completely bottled the final penalty, which had absolutely nothing to do with the 10,000 laser pens that the Senegalese fans were pointing at him. Anyway, we look ahead to the World Cup draw this evening. As an England fan, I'm not too fussed about who we get. We should be getting out of the group in the World Cup no matter what the draw is. But we're not here to talk about the internationals. We are here to talk about the Premier League. So let's run through our normal format. We have, I think it's 6 weeks to go until the end of the season, which is going to be made up of 8 separate game weeks. Let's get into Game Week 30's results and before we go into the new round of predictions. So, this was Game Week 30. It was clashing with the FA Cup, which is why we only had 4 fixtures. These were my predictions and these were the results. Overall, not going to complain. Wolves were looking pretty comfortable until their red card, and then an incredible comeback from Leeds meant that they won. And other than that, we got a point for all of the rest of them. Little annoyed that I got the Leicester and Tottenham predictions the wrong way round, but it is what it is. Overall game week score of 3, pushing our season total up to 176. Looking to get to 200 before the end of the year. I think that shouldn't be too difficult, you'd hope. Let me know down in the comments how you got on, and let's get in to game week 31. And we do have a full programme of Premier League fixtures this weekend, plus 1, which I will get to in a moment. And we start with Liverpool and Watford, where I fully expect every single Watford fan to be armed with a laser pen, just in case Mohamed Salah does get another penalty. No, all jokes aside, should not be bringing laser pens to football matches, but it would be slightly funny. Overall, this result really should only go one way. Watford had made improvements defensively since Roy Hodgson took over, but old habits were starting to seep in the last couple of fixtures before the international break. And, I mean, I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool. It wouldn't surprise me if it was more than that. The only interesting one for me will be whether or not Trent plays, because it has been claimed he has a hamstring injury, which is why he didn't play on the international break. And if he does play against Watford, I will be a little bit disappointed as an England fan, because a hamstring injury should take a lot longer than 2 weeks to get over. But yeah, 3-0 Liverpool. Wouldn't be surprised if it was more. On to a whole host of 3 o'clock fixtures. We have 5 3 o'clock fixtures this week, and we start with Brighton and Norwich. And unfortunately for Norwich, I do think they are already in a position where they're not going to get themselves out of the relegation zone now, and I fully expect Brighton to get the win here at home. I'm going to go for 2-0. Yes, Brighton have been struggling for goals, but Norwich have been conceding for fun this season, so a good opportunity for Brighton to get some goals, and I'm going for 2-0. Speaking of 2-0s, we move on to Burnley and Man City, where again I shall be going for 2-0. Burnley obviously have been doing reasonably well recently, trying to get through their games in hand, still trying to stay up, but they're coming up against a Man City team that are in this mad title race with Liverpool right now, and they're not going to pull any punches here. They do have a very good record against Burnley as well, so 2-0 may end up being a little bit generous on Burnley. As with the Liverpool-Watford game, it wouldn't surprise me if this was more. However, given Burnley's usually good defensive record, I'm only going to go for 2-0 here. Then we have Chelsea and Brentford, which should be relatively easy for Chelsea, although Brentford have had a good little run recently. Ivan Toney's looked fantastic since he's come back from his injury. So, with that said, I am going to give Brentford a goal, because of how well they've been playing, and of course the return of Christian Eriksen to football. What an international break he had. However, overall, I'm going to go for 3-1 to Chelsea. Yes, they do still have a few players out injured, but offensively they seem to have everyone fit. Christian Pulisic off a hat-trick for America to get them to the World Cup. Will we see him starting for them? Maybe, who knows. But I fully expect Chelsea to get the job done here. 3-1, I'm going for them. Now for the first, what I would call really tough one to call. Southampton, after having a phenomenal season, have lost their last 4 in a row. Whereas Leeds have also not performed well, and their new manager hasn't made much of a difference. That said, they've managed to get 2 wins in a row with a 94th minute winner, and then that comeback against Wolves with 10 men. So it's a tough one. I would be tempted to give this one to Leeds. However, I think Southampton are due a result, and I think Leeds is the right opposition for them to get that result. So I am going to edge this one 2-1 Southampton. But yeah, that's the first real tough one to call for me. Immediately followed by the second tough one to call, which is Wolves and Aston Villa. Will Wolves get the job done without Raul Jimenez? I know he's not been scoring, but he's been a major part in their build-up play. Aston Villa, of course, have been playing very, very well recently. Will feel slightly unlucky that they didn't get more in their game against Arsenal 2 weeks ago. I'm going to make this a 1-1 draw. I really think this is a tough one to call. I really think it depends on which players turn up on the day. So I can't really split them, so I'm not going to split them, and I'm going to go 1-1. On to Saturday evening's game, and the one that I have a vested interest in, which is Manchester United and Leicester. I have to admit, probably the same as all the players have you seen in the media. It's been refreshing to have a break from Manchester United, given the current difficulties over the last couple of months. It looks like the manager situation is going to be sorted at some point in the next couple of weeks. But for now, let's focus on the on-the-pitch job. And I expect United to get the win. I can't sit here and go, they've struggled against this, that and the other, so they're not going to beat Leicester at home. We have the players. We should be beating Leicester City. I'm going to go for 2-1. I still can't see us getting clean sheets right now. Leicester have played well their last few games, but maybe the international break disrupts that. As I said, the United players have come back refreshed from the international break, so hopefully we'll see a better mentality from them. And hopefully we'll get the job done. 2-1 to Manchester United. On to 2 games on Sunday. We start with West Ham and Everton, and if current form is anything to go by, which is normally how I do these predictions, then this is going to be a comfortable win for West Ham. I'm going to go for 3-0. They seem to have almost their whole team fit. It looks like Bowen could play. I did hear that Lanzini is definitely going to be out after suffering a horrendous car accident yesterday. So West Ham could be a couple of men short in that attacking midfield line, but they've got plenty of cover. And as for Everton, it's just not working for them right now. And they've got this debt looming over them again with the potential risk of point deduction, which, if it happens, will all but certainly relegate them. So a lot playing on the minds of the Everton players right now, and I think West Ham will just blow them away, to be honest with you. So 3-0 West Ham for that fixture. And the other game on Sunday sees Tottenham against Newcastle. I think the Eddie Howe resurgence bubble has just about died down a little bit now. They've lost their last couple of fixtures, Newcastle United, and Tottenham have started to look really good. Harry Kane's form has been fantastic the last month or so, and I expect that to continue. I can't see any other result happening here other than a Spurs win. I'm going for 3-1. It wouldn't surprise me to see Newcastle do a little bit better than that, but it would surprise me to see them get a draw or a win away at Tottenham. So I'm leaving that at 3-1. And then the final game of the weekend, I say weekend, it is the Monday Night Football. It is Crystal Palace and Arsenal, and a game that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I've said enough times about Patrick Vieira's team and his style of play, and a good test for him against his former club Arsenal, who of course are playing some fantastic football themselves. I think it's going to be a really open game. I can see both teams attacking each other with the flair and the skill that they have. And I'm going to go for my 2-2 here. It would be easy to go for Arsenal, and maybe this is a little bit of my bias coming in because I desperately need Arsenal to drop points if Manchester United are getting Champions League. But I do also believe Crystal Palace are more than capable of getting the result here. I think any result is possible. I still think Arsenal winning is the most likely, but as I said, I think it's going to be a thoroughly entertaining game, and I don't want to give a winner in that regard, so I'm going to go for 2-2. And that is it in terms of the weekend fixtures. We do have one midweek fixture, so I am not going to do a separate video for that. I am just going to do it right here and right now. That is Burnley and Everton on Wednesday night, one of Burnley's games in hand from all the games that got called off earlier in the season. And to be honest, unless something drastic happens, like Everton winning at West Ham, that wouldn't change my opinion on this result. As I've already spoken about, I think Everton are in a really tough spot right now. And I think Burnley are in the right place to capitalise. It is a relegation 6-pointer, as much as the cliche goes. And I am going to edge it to Burnley because they are at home. I'm going to go for 2-1. And that is it. It is good to have the Premier League back. Don't forget, it is, of course, the World Cup draw this evening if you are interested in international football. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Do not forget, as always, to put your predictions in the comments as well. And again, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back very, very soon.